Alright, I have found my next quest, which is another plus quest. From Chitin which is Keiten, not like chitinous, insects, whatever. A Rogadin, or otherwise big, burly, kind of human, samurai-looking fellow. I don't see a sword, but I see like the green robes of a samurai. Anyway, but they could just be possibly like normal green robes for a merchant or whatever. But this is the quest Dramatis Personae, whatever, however you want to pronounce that. And it will lead to a raid eventually, so that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. Cutscene. And I'll probably do the raid too, because I did all the Alexander raids and they were fun. Welcome, my lady. There is a young maiden here who would speak with you. There's a cat gal looking. She's at a market, getting told no with whatever she's asking. Miss, the adventurer has arrived. The adventurer. And she looks pleased and jaunts over to us. She's got a nice, cool, hat with the blue feather in it. And here she is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Murilah. That's M as in Mary, Ewrilah. Murilah. Fuck, please don't make me say that ever again. Correspondent for The Raven. You may recognize me from my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. But enough small talk. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. You look shocked, puzzled, confused. You ask, what's up? What gives? No, I'm here because... Actually, it's best you heard it from Alma. I am but an observer. God damn, I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me. She got kind of lightish blue hair, a mischievous look to her face. Alma, come, I found her. Alma is a red-headed younger gal, human female. The hair goes below her shoulder blades a bit in a ponytail. Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? She's got a nice dark blue cloak that is over a kind of turquoise dress. Indeed it is. Alma walks up to us. Hands almost clasped in front of her. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. Okay, Leah. A.k.a. Princess. It's all right, Alma, says Lena. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you before the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. Okay, sure. She talks to Alma a bit more, whose face is in her hands, now wiping off tears. She nods to Lena, and the two walk off. Aw, such cuties together. And the large, is definitely a Rogadin man, crosses his arms, kind of nods to us a little bit. We continue heading west. Might as well pump on the sprint, even though I'm probably going to use 5 to 10 seconds of it. Next, another cutscene. I used 7. As I said before, I think it's better we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here. It's simply that I don't trust anyone here. I thought she was going to say anywhere, but okay. Gate guard, Minegumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Is indeed a gate guard right next to us. But we will be teleported in automatically. And we're on the other side, speaking once again with Lena and Alma. Thank you for coming, Mercy. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Garlean one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. And cutscene happens. We look at the airship with its many propellers. So there are 3 propeller shafts. The main one in the middle has 3 spinning propellers. The ones on the front and back of the ship have 2 spinning propellers. How it turns and guides itself in any I don't know how it propels itself, because they're all literally just vertical propellers. They can only pull up. There's no directionality to it, so whatever. The magic of games. All right, Alma. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theater Company. Cutscene. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least, no known spies. Ask anyone and they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere in the 3 great continents, and beyond. We have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It is a little-known fact, outside Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts who supported various theater troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now all theater troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troupe denied their writs of transit. The worst offenders, well, they are never heard from again. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: compromise their creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a 3rd option, to express his disapproval for the new Empire's policies obliquely in ostensibly unpolitical works. Ostensibly unpolitical. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Bas Lexentale, daughter of Principal Genomus Sen Lexentale. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave story? On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention, but beneath it is something quite different, a fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By bleeding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here. Right. Allow me, Lena, says Sid, walking up. Lena waves. Sid waves back, a little less, just one hand in the air, as opposed to Lena's gratuitous waving. Alma gives a nice curtsy. I've known Genoma since we were students at the Majestic Academy. At the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. You're like, yeah, it's fine. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of peated ale numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where our conversation began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troop was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genomus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Alma kind of gets a determined look in her eyes. And we have a flashback. Genomus Sen Lexentale. So the flashback mode. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the skies so others might do the same. He says to his young Alma. We're back to the present. Her remembering. What am I trying to say? Rather poorly. What I am trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Garleans are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who has watched his family consumed in the flames of Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial search for a missing father? In Garlean territory, no less. But you are different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So what say you? I can never turn my back on a damsel in distress. I would make a poor adventurer were I to shy away from adventure. I'll do the damsel, even though it doesn't... whatever. I'll do the damsel. That's not what I meant, but whatever. She's too young. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Now that you understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma could provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. She nods. Turns back to you. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. She kind of shakes her head and clutches her chest again. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please, follow me. We all nod and walk in the direction that she does. Follow me and everything's alright. Cutscene, by the way. Well, the cutscene continues, transitions. We're on a circular elevator going up. Kind of lushly carpeted with a red background and some kind of like fiery and dark red and white motif in the middle. We're at the bridge of the airship. I think looking out on Kugane, with the pilot or captain at the helm. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Ivalice. Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered the evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delito would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants, that is, until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the Pauper's rise to regent. I apologize, by the way, for making Lena sound annoying. That's just the best way I could discern. Like, Lena is, I would say, like early 20s, late teens at most of a cat girl, and Alma is probably mid-teens at best, probably early teens. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genomus becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Genomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge, was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Nagxia, 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 buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, that would change the sentence entirely. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals. Crystals unlike any others. She holds one out. It's kind of dull, but it does have a glow to it sometimes. It's like a dull, like sky blue. My father called them Arcite and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. We have a lot of experience with Arcite, my friend. By the 12th, it's magnificent. Evalesian legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather Arcite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard that tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that is all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how the Arcite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the stone's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Flashback? Nope, okay. Following our arrival here in Hingashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, we could oft hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the strain of your flight from Garlemald? She shakes her head. Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. You heard them? The elevator comes back up. I didn't know it had gone down, but there is a youngish woman. Well, maybe actually like mid-30s, a little bit older. Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. Older sister. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce. He's cut off. Enough, Master Sid. Ramza Bas Lexentail. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Garleans, and we still have our pride. Unlike some, it seems, we require neither the aid nor the pity of foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? Oh, it's brother. Shit, fuck. Whoops. I'm sorry. It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I will personally vouch for her character. In all the time I have known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You are lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? Sorry, the ponytail and feminine features of the face threw me off. I'm sorry. You know why. After this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genomus to his fate. I am sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me after what happened in Rabanastre. Like Raban Astre. Except it's not spelled like Raban at all. It's Rabanastre. It may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort, says Sid. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Damascus' capital? My father's fascination with Evalesian legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city, Jesus Christ, long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me that is where he was returned. Now you must excuse me. I need some time to think. He walks back. Nope. Others walk back to the elevator, but he didn't. Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Mercy's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Interest? I'll take your interest. Thank you, Master Garland. Not that, but like money. Anyway, we will not forget this kindness. He nods to you. You nod back. Thank you for your trust, Sid. I have ever earned it and shall ever do so in perpetuity. Alright, so we are to speak with Ramza, the young boy, but maybe like older teen, I don't know. He's at some control panel. Master Garlean seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalmasca. Dramatis Personae is complete. This video is complete. I'm going to end at the 20-minute mark, but I will see you next time. Thank you for stopping by, and we will continue soon. Later.